Hello, I'm Tim Krul. Welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello, everybody. Lewis, Norwich City Central. More reaction from that sensational win against Watford. Watford 0, Norwich City 3. Not just the manner of the win, but the context of the win in terms of it being a 6-pointer and what happened in the game. Josh Sargent, you've got that iconic image, the iconic goal, the floodlight failure. It felt like a proper football game and a huge win for Norwich City, which brings them up to 17th in the table, and it was a massive win and one which will do so much in terms of the battle. This is going to be more reaction. I've already uploaded my match review, going over the game in a chronological fashion. This is going to be more of a player ratings and really analysing the game a lot more. Although it's hard to be too critical, or when you have a win like that in the manner we did it, it's very emotional, isn't it? And I still feel that emotion and that adrenaline rushing through you after a really important win. And for Norwich, this is an iconic night in Norwich City's recent history, honestly. The Championship incredible winning season under Farker last season was special, but there was no fans and it wasn't really iconic. You never really had an iconic game. This for me is the most iconic win since Tottenham, since Norwich City got to the FA Cup quarterfinals, that incredible penalty shootout, Tim Krul's heroics in the shootout, and the most iconic Premier League victory probably since the Man City game. It was that good. It had everything, and particularly the narrative around Josh Sargent as well. Of course, someone who worked really hard, but for £10 million, someone who's needed to score goals, it's been really difficult for him. It's not his fault he's had that price tag, but he's worked really hard, and to get his goals tonight and the manner of his performance, absolutely exceptional, and it gives Norwich City a real boost. Let's go through the player ratings, and Angus Gunn, delighted for him to keep a clean sheet. Of course, Tim Krul's injury is detrimental, and one we haven't spoken about enough. Tim Krul is a sensational goalkeeper, and I fear he could be out for weeks, possibly even months. Hopefully he'll be back in the Norwich City number one spot, but we'll have to wait and see. Angus Gunn's going to be the replacement. Thought he had a decent job. There was a little bit of hesitation one of the moments, and remains to be seen whether Angus Gunn is good enough. I certainly think he's a good shot stopper at this level. I still think his distribution and maybe that kind of real leadership is yet to be there, but after a run of games, I'm sure it might be. But delighted to see Angus Gunn get a clean sheet in the Premier League for Norwich City. It's a real dream to him. Max Aaron's excellent, 8 out of 10 performance from him. Angus Gunn was a 7, Max out of 10. Max Aaron's absolutely excellent, 8 out of 10. A Dennis to contend with in the first half, did really well against him. Grant Hanley, Ben Gibson, both rock solid. 8 out of 10 again. I thought they were really good at defending our box really well. There was quite a few crosses which came in, particularly in that first half. And the beast from the east in Grant Hanley, so solid, and Ben Gibson, excellent to see him to return to form after a really disappointed display at West Ham. And that's probably going to be the partnership going forward now. And if they can produce that kind of solid resilience, that'd be really good to see. Brandon Williams, 7 out of 10. I thought he had a good display in that left-back role. Didn't really do anything wrong. Sorensen's injury was gutting. Kenny McLean came in and did a decent job, 6 out of 10. Lees Malou cleared at one off the line in the second half when there was a mix-up between Angus Gunn and Josh Sargent. And I thought he did well in the middle of the pitch. The first half, let's not kid ourselves, the first half was quite poor from Norwich, but we're not going to care about that. No one cares about that first half now. After the iconic second half. But it was a poor first half, and Lees Malou gave the ball away a few times. But Lees Malou in the second half, a lot better distribution on the ball, one more of his aerial duels. It was a good display from Lees Malou. Milot Rashita, 7 out of 10. I love hearing that chant. I think it's one of my favourite songs from Norwich City this season, that Milot Rashita chant. It was really loud and vibrant at Charlton, and listening to the game and watching the game today, it was really loud in the away end. And in terms of what he did on the pitch, he put in a good performance, carried the ball up the pitch well, more so in the second half, had a good chance in the first half when his shot went narrowly over, and of course provided his assist, and then that's the second assist for Norwich City in colours, and it was an epic cross as well. On the left-hand byline, fantastic cross with pace, and it's just inviting Josh Sargent to get his head onto it, and he does. So yeah, really pleased for Milot Rashita. We'll save Josh Sargent at the end. Adam Eder, 7 out of 10. I thought he put his body on the line well. Wasn't particularly as involved as he was against West Ham and Everton, but was really, really decent. And what I've liked about Dean Smith is obviously this changed to 4-4-2 in recent weeks. I think from a tactical standpoint, it's really helped Norwich. Norwich have been desperate for goals, and it's simple, but it makes sense to put more attacking players on the pitch. And I think it's given us more of an outlet, more of a physical presence, because some of those games in December where I don't think I've seen Norwich City that bad in the Premier League before, we looked just there's nothing going forward, and I think Adam Eade has definitely given us that physical outlet, and he worked hard all game, and of course technically got an assist with the own goal. And Timo Pukki 7 out of 10 again. I don't think necessarily he's been putting in his best performances in recent weeks, Timo Pukki, but again he's been working really hard without the ball, provides the assist for the first goal, and it's excellent from Timo Pukki, just pressing the player, the Watford defender. The Watford defender's trying to protect the ball going out for a goal kick, and Pukki's just right on his tails. The defender tries to buy a free kick, and I'm really pleased the ref didn't blow, and I'm really pleased VAR didn't give it, because it would have been incredibly disappointing to see a decision like that go against Norwich when the defender's looking for a free kick. But a nice ball from Pukki, and gets the assist for the Sargent goal. Josh Sargent, incredible performance. I don't think it's been very rare since I've given a 10 out of 10 performance by someone. Maybe Adam Eder in the cup against Preston a few years back. And there's been displays here and there, but for me it was a 10 out of 10 performance by Josh Sargent, and the whole narrative around has been absolutely, it makes the win in his performance even better. As I said at the start of the video, £10 million, huge responsibility, not his fault. And as a striker going into the Premier League, it's a huge amount of pressure, and maybe that recruitment wasn't fair on him. And to be honest, I don't think he is a striker. I think he's better deeper, bringing people into play. So he's had a lot to contend with, Josh Sargent. But he's come into the team today, playing in the right wing, and he's given absolutely everything. There's been a few performances here and there where you've looked at Josh Sargent, and although he hasn't scored, you've said well done to him, because he's worked really hard with and without the ball, and it's given us a bit of physicality which we've lacked. And I think that's what Norwich City I've been pleased about in recent weeks as well, in terms of our performances. A bit more physicality, a bit more, removing that kind of pushover narrative. And it was excellent throughout the whole game, carried the ball well. There was a really amazing instance in the second half where he runs around a couple of people, showing strength with and without the ball. And the goals, the second goal, as I say, a brilliant leap. It's a fantastic header, the power and the precision he generates. But the goal, the night, will be remembered for that first goal, an iconic goal. I'm struggling to think of a better Norwich City goal. Maybe I'm projecting it too far, but I really think it's a sensational goal. The ball is behind him, and for Sargent to stick out his leg and to have that precision and accuracy, and the way it goes in as well, off the crossbar, just about goes over the goal line. Everything, kind of, the footballing gods went Norwich City's way today, and that's something that's probably lacked in Premier League season. So yeah, really, really pleased. I'm really, really pleased for Sargent. And I guess the one negative is that there's a winter break, and Norwich City won't play another Premier League game in 19 days, which is the last thing you want. You want the confidence to continue. But no, that is a massive, massive boost for Norwich. And the December, we had some dismal results, 6 losses, no goals. It's as dismal as it gets. Yes, we had a few injuries, and obviously the COVID outbreak affected Norwich, but it affects all teams, these things. But to have Dean Smith come in and tactically change things is so refreshing, because sometimes we've lacked those kind of tactical changes. But since we've been able to have had players back, we've gone to a 4-4-2, and it's been really effective. And I'm so pleased for this Norwich City team, and of course Josh Sargent. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below as Norwich City record a magical win at Watford, moving them to 17th in the table, and it's a real all-round confidence lift in this mini battle in the top 4, and what it does in terms of bringing togetherness and confidence. Cannot be, it is so huge for this group. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Subscribe to Norwich City Central if you're new, and I'll see you later.